So let's kick off with, so hi everyone, my name is Paul Byer. People don't know, this will be a fast-paced hour meeting. We got a lot of stuff that we cram in here. We cram in 4 hours of meetings in 45 minutes. But we always like to start with a few people kind of sharing their experience as a representative of one of the 6 key personas. And Luke, if I could ask you to start, introduce yourself and tell us how, as a recent college grad, you've thought about the AI ecosystem and things you're looking for.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Luke Giel. I graduated from UMass Amherst just over a year ago. I'm currently a civilian in the Air Force doing data science work at Hanscom Air Force Base in Bedford. Let me think. I guess as a recent student, I guess I can kind of talk about or talk to students and what they're interested in and how we can kind of attract them, grow, I guess like a how to make them interested in AI, how to provide them the resources that they really want in regards to AI and careers and whatnot. I was the founder and president of the UMass Data Science Club, and I had a really good time there running that. So I offered to any other college students interested, I'd be happy to help them set up a club and provide them advice as to like what worked for me and what didn't. And then I also do some career related resources such as resume writing, resume reviews, that type of stuff. And yeah, so feel free to reach out or connect with me on LinkedIn or anything like that.
That's great. Thank you, Luke. Did I see Nico on here? Nico, you here? Looking for a startup. Any other startups we have online? Kara, you want to share a little bit of what, as a startup, what you're looking for from an ecosystem?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Cara Peterson from Describe. I would say that Massachusetts is pretty much unmatched from the intellectual capital that you can get and the ecosystem in general. We are in particular an AI for good company. So I find that Massachusetts has this deep and wide history sort of looking at how we use technology in particular to solve larger problems like in the biotech space and the climate space. So I think AI can be in the same vein here in Massachusetts. We have some things that we're working on maturity wise, but I think I was just talking to some folks over at Flybridge about this the other day about how this group right now, Paul's group, our group, is a really unique thing in Massachusetts that I don't know if other communities have, because you could be sitting in a meeting talking about what we should be doing for our ecosystem, and you could have a recent graduate all the way up to a CEO of one of the biggest, most influential companies around or funders around. So I think that makes our community really unique. There's a we're in it together spirit that I think is really incredible.
Great. Well, thank you, Kara. Yeah, that's definitely not my group. It's our group, and we're working hard to make it even better. So let me kick off. So I've got things popping up like crazy here. So Kara, can you see my screen? Oh, someone's asking for a meeting link. Okay,
yes.
We can solve
Your
that.
screen looks great.
Can someone help me put the meeting link in there? Oh, someone did. Thank you very much here. So if you haven't signed in, please sign in the bottom here. So we have a shared Google document, and we've got, oh, great. People are starting to populate already. Thank you. So the mission of this volunteer group is to implement practical efforts to attract, retain, and grow AI talent. And grow includes education and upskilling current workers. We really focus on mini projects, so 2 to 3 people doing small projects that take 30 to 60 days, and we're going to be reviewing the status of those today, and hopefully succinct 2-minute overviews. We aren't a lobbying group. We're all volunteer. We have no money. I appreciate all the vendors calling us and trying to sell us stuff or want us to get stuff in the lobbying group, but we don't do any of that. We're just a couple people with shovels trying to get the basics things done. We have a website. We've now over 700 people on the email. If you're not on the email, please go to the website and join. And we have initial definition of AI talent on the website. And the big lesson I've seen in the last 2 or 3 months is that so many people, when I ask them what they think AI talent is, they say, oh, that's the engineer who's making $500,000 a year working on a frontier model at Google. And that's not what we're hearing from all the other employers out there. It's product managers, sales, customer support, ops people, in addition to a few of those, but it's all the different areas on uploading or upskilling their talents. We have wristbands, contact them if you want. Update, so let's jump in. So update on task force. Did I see Rory? Rory, are you on? Or Tom?
I'm here. Yes. Good morning, Paul.
Yeah. Morning, Rory.
here.
Rory, you want to get a quick update, please?
Sure, happy to. And Tom can jump in too. He's a key partner in this work. And Paul, again, thank you again for doing this. Great to be here. So quick update on the AI task force. We just sort of completed phase 2 of the work. As a reminder for everyone, we're approaching this with a three phase framework. The first phase is around industry verticals. So we had 9 different working groups broken out by different sectors of the economy. The horizontals were there were 6 groups organized around cross-cutting issues that ran across industries and across the economy. And now phase 3, we're really going to take some time to distill and sort of process and digest some of the findings in phase 1 and phase 2 and work towards a final report that will be submitted to the governor later in the fall. So that work is onward and underway. We'll spend some time internally working as a team with Tom and others. Please feel free if people, we're having less of the working group framework we've been using for the last several months. We won't be doing that as much for this final phase, but we're always here. We're always open to insight perspectives. I know I've actually heard from a few folks on the line in the last few days. I'll be in touch. So I appreciate it. Tom, anything further to add there?
No, I think that's great. Just I'd emphasize the fact that if anybody else wants to kind of get engaged and give us some of your thoughts on moving this forward, it'd be appreciated.
So Tom and Roy, is that the ask of the group? Or they send you feedback? I know there was a survey for a while. Is that still open? Or how can people on the call help you guys?
The survey is still open, so I'll drop the link in the chat. And then Rory, whatever else you want to add in on that.
Yeah, the survey is important. We're trying to figure out some ideas for use cases. So please feel free to fill that out. And then as far as reach out, I'll put my email in the chat. We're in a similar boat as you, Paul, where we don't have money at the moment, but we're working towards that. And so at this point in time, we're really focused on the policy and the framework and sort of developing the strategy. So if people have ideas that they think can contribute to that, don't be shy. I'll put my email in the chat. And I'm sure Tom can do it too. Maybe you can email us both. That would be super helpful.
Great, fabulous. Thank you, Tom and Roy. Really, really exciting here. Rodolfo, are you on the line?
I'm here, yes.
Yes, you want to tell everyone what the mini tracker is and these slides that I'm starting to show that are not populated.
Awesome. So the mini tracker, it's something that we started a couple of months ago. So the idea is to start dropping all of the mini projects there and identifying the leaders, stakeholders, when they are supposed to start, finish, what's the status, the most important thing, what are any blocker issues that you guys have, so we can help that leader as a group. And last but not least, track any comments or links that are related to that project. So this is how we are trying to see all this work as a program. And also Paul started like this new version of trying to highlight some of those projects on every meeting in a format as slides. So what we will start doing is showcasing some of these projects so it's easier to digest and start giving some I'd say visibility on what you guys are working. So yeah, super excited about that.
Fantastic. Really, really exciting. I appreciate that. I think one of the things we don't want like this, we want to get more progress done. We want to support more mini projects. We don't want to have more meetings. So we need to get even more efficient and organized in how we identify blocking issues, support our teams, support their creativity. And that's really what this goal is. And I think over time, this might splinter into more working groups on specific tasks, but this is really identification status, resource on blocking and how we can help here. Next one, Katie, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Yep. Give us an update on what you're working on.
Sure. So we've got two personas that we're focused on: students and why they stay in Massachusetts, and then founders and why they start up a company in Massachusetts. And I'm actively looking for people who wouldn't mind recording a 90-second video. So that's the big ask. If there's any founders or students, and of course any unique perspectives, always welcome. I do have some videos, so I guess another ask would be, where should we start storing those? Is there a place on the website, or is there a Google folder? Or what's the thought on just where we can gather some of these 90-second
A great suggestion. I mean, we have a Gmail G Drive with the blueprint stuff, so that's one option. We're certainly in the Slack. So maybe Katie, if you can send me, I'm happy to open up a folder there. You could just populate the folder and then put the ideas or the links in Slack.
Yep. That
Great.
sounds
And then,
so.
Katie, share what the goal is. 30, 60, 90 days, what should people expect coming out of the oven?
I think ultimately we'd like to help, and perhaps there's some overlay with work that Amanda and others are doing. I'm still checking in with them. But to have some kind of advertisements. And I know Catherine also offered to share some Massachusetts videography, so I've got to check in with them. The ultimate goal is to have some 90-second videos geared towards these personas.
And make sure what you and I've talked about, this is not so much an advertising where people pay for it, but this is, if I'm a student, if one of the thousands of students that come to Boston for the first time, I see this 90-second video that helps explain all the great things in this AI ecosystem. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep. Yeah. It's not going to be a professional one that I do during my day job, but we'll work to get it as close as possible, right?
Yeah, and also, I mean, and vendors can't buy space on this. Is that correct?
Right. No. It's not a infomercial. It's
I
it's all about
appreciate
talking about how great Massachusetts is and why we choose it over perhaps some other regions of the world.
Yeah, I love sales and appreciate all the enthusiasm out there, some of the sales reps, but we're not selling our list. You can't buy, we're not promoting sales of products. This is a nonprofit volunteer group that's highlighting the wonderful things in there and connecting stuff here. So fantastic. Well, that's very exciting here. Katie, I think what other asks do you have of the group?
Just reach out to me if you wouldn't mind doing a recording.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I have not seen is other examples of doing this. It's got to be out there. I saw something, Research Triangle. They had a really good, like, one-page summary of everything, but I'm just shocked that there's not more examples out there from Victor Institute up in Canada, or Vector Institute up in Canada, or other areas. But people see those. Please share them. I think we really have a chance on this to really crack the code with getting viral stuff, and TikToks going out and everything else. And I think, given how intense the usage is of short videos in some of the communities out there, we can really get some help and have a whole constellation of hundreds of these if we want.
Yeah.
Whole question.
Got a good.
What do you want from Vector Institute? Because I'm kind of working with them for a global
No, I was
project.
not. I'm just looking. I'm looking. Has Vector Institute developed a 90-second video that highlights what they're doing?
Okay, I'll get it.
And would that be something that might have good best practices for us? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Vector, you guys are fantastic up there. Really, really impressive program.
Okay, thanks.
Great. So the next one is Northeastern. So is John and Colleen on?
We are. Good morning, Paul. Thank you.
Good morning, John.
So quick intro, I'll pass over to Katie, or sorry, Colleen. A lot of names going in the chat. So John Robles, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships for Northeastern University. Katie, would love to connect with you on the student videos. I think we could do a lot there. We're going to provide a little information on the background stuff, but we do a lot in the area of AI. Whole cohort. I think for us, it's a research perspective, but also in how we engage students into opportunities for this group. So as we think about those opportunities that you're doing in the overall ecosystem, putting that forward for awareness, our students can go on co-ops, which could be 4 to 6 months in project length for any of your startups. Colleen?
Yeah, happy to jump in here. And in addition to, I mean, Northeastern, a lot of folks know about our student talent. We've also, Paul, some of you were mentioning up at the top about retaining and upskilling existing talent. Northeastern started to build out a variety of different learning programs for upskilling specifically. So not necessarily what you think of as traditional higher ed degree-based programs. We've got a couple different formats that we've been working with industry partners to go in and deliver in a very embedded fashion at organizations. So really when it comes to, I think there were a couple use cases in your mission document where you mentioned organizations who are building in-house AI capabilities and building their teams up, but looking at different, looking to move into different geographic regions. That's where we could definitely be supportive as a resource, potentially a project we could develop together around just like open and public workshops, but we work with industry partners pretty closely as well.
So that's great. So Colleen and John, if people are interested in partnering with you, do they contact Julie or you? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a couple slides. I can add them to this Google document so people can access them. But yeah, they can feel free to reach out to me, Julie as well, and we can help just kind of navigate who and what internal teams we have that would be best people to talk to.
That'd be great. I'm such a huge fan of Northeastern, your co-op. I've used it over the years. You guys just develop a can-do, pick up shovel and get stuff done. So it's a really practical thing. One of the things I'm very excited about the Northeastern, you guys already have an AI career fair. And when we were running around 2 or 3 months ago saying, I just couldn't believe there wasn't an AI career fair for the city. And we now have one, but we want to make sure we aren't stepping on each other. So I know Judah might be on the call here. We've got that later on, but that's one thing we want to stay coordinated on because you know that both those things need to grow, and we need one that's got thousands of people showing up in Heinz Convention Center, helping with jobs here.
Yeah, and I noticed down below there's another item here talking about event listings. We're more than happy to make sure that some of our opportunities make it onto your all's events as well.
That's great. So Sal, AI focused grants. Sal, are you online?
Yeah, I'm here. So also coincidentally a consultant at Northeastern right now. I'm a organizer for AI Tinkerers Boston as well, a small meetup group. So I'm here to talk about AI focused grants. As you may know, there's billions of dollars of federal grants that are available through NSF and other agencies. In my estimate, hundreds of millions of which may be focused on AI. Right now, it's a very simultaneously the most transparent and opaque process that could be, which is that it's transparent because it's federal government and they're required by law to publish everything. Opaque because it's really hard to decipher and available only to insiders. So it's a really big challenge. So our hypothesis is that if we're able to shed some light on this and make it accessible to many, that we'll be able to not only attract more federal dollars to the Boston area, but also make better use of those federal dollars, which they're going to be going to better uses. So we're organizing a mini project. If you'd like to get involved, send me a Slack message. We kicked it off this past week. It was Thomas Schlapp and I. Thomas is on the call. And we're happy to add more people. So
that's fantastic. So what's the ask is for people to join who are interested in this area?
Yeah, if you're interested in joining, if you want to help out, please join. Where we see this going is first, we're creating a database of all the opportunities. And then secondly, we'll try to figure out ways of making that accessible to all. So whether that's through chatbots and AI and being able to query or being able to, make it accessible to all companies and research organizations.
That's fantastic. So thank you, Sal. We appreciate you jumping in. Sal's one of many people who just joined the group early in the last month or so and raised his hand and picked up an idea and go. I get a lot of people contacting me saying, Paul, I want to help. I'm like, start a project or find a project. And that's what this effort's about. So let's keep driving. On the other thing, this may fold into the earlier one. Katie, was that I think we've got 4 or 5, maybe 3 or 4 videos that people just sent in that we just started as a project. And one of the things I realized is that the answer is already out there on messaging. We just got to ask it. So as I've been running around and finding AI people who in Boston, I'm like, what are you doing here? Why are you staying here? Go to California. That's where go to New York. And then when people respond back, oh no, it's really, really interesting. So I know Ram has done that, and I think two or three others have done it, and those have been on Slack. So there might be some other clues on that, or people want to contribute to that. That would be really good. But it's a voice of people who are staying is really, really powerful. Erica, you've got a new project on measuring success. You want to share what that is and how you can help?
Sure. Yeah, happy to. And I'm going to post into the Slack channel for some notes too, Paul. So we started our new mini project group, measuring success across two different levels. We've decided both the high level of how to rank against other states, and we are planning on also hopefully providing some of that information up to the AI task force. So I know you guys are on the call as just some of the recommendations we've come up with. The AI blueprint for mass success, specifically about how we are moving the needle towards our North Star objective, is this secondary scorecard. We had a great working session. We got a ton done, so thank you to the team there. The link is in the project tracker, so everyone's welcome to go in and check it out. If you do have comments and edits, just please highlight the cells that you make changes to or add comments on the document themselves. We also received back some data from the state, and I'll put this in the chat because I think it's really pretty cool that we actually received some information. So the state answered a bunch of my questions about some of the data around AI in Massachusetts. So please take a look at that. I'll put it again in Slack so we can talk about that. The last part of that I wanted to mention today is that our working group has identified areas we need help with. And so one of the things that I found interesting was there, some of these line items ended up being bigger items of, wait, you need more definition. And so I wasn't sure where I wanted to pick up a shovel, but I wasn't sure where. So we have some items that that we would like to recommend that someone pick up the shovel. So I'm going to post those in Slack also. And if you want to be a leader on that, respond and we'll pass down the background around those. So lots going on, but yeah, we have a few asks in
That's
there.
fantastic.
As well.
That's fantastic, Eric. So to make sure I understand the last one is you see some other opportunities that might be good for mini projects, and you can put that in Slack. And then I know you've also recently joined this effort as well. How did you hear about it, and why are you motivated to help?
So I'm the head of operations at Infused Innovations. We're an IT tech consulting firm that focuses on strategy through delivery of responsible AI. We do responsible AI trainings, and we did a meeting at Microsoft. We did a free event for responsible AI, where actually Paul was a guest speaker. Thank you, Paul. And had a great turnout there. We just released our responsible AI white paper, and we're fully remote. So I am in North Central Mass, and a little bit out of Boston now. I did work in the city for a little while, but I use AI all day long, every day. We hire AI folks. We work within startups to help them with AI. So it just felt like the right thing to do to join the community and try to help.
Great. Well, Erica, you're doing a great job showing up, picking up shovel, organizing. So thank you for modeling such great behavior. Adam, I think are you online? I think I saw you log in to give an update on the playbooks.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone gave some great feedback on the playbooks last time. So we're going through a V2 rough draft, targeting to finish that in August, but would love others to join in. Please either hit me up on Slack or, I did sign in and I've got my email. Since no good deed goes unpunished, those people who did make some suggestions, I'm probably going to reach out to you, ask you the same. If you can help, and then we'll probably try and get together on a call the week of the 12th or the 19th of this month.
And Adam, explain for the folks who don't know, what is a playbook and who would use it and why would it be useful?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry. Very good point, Paul. Thank you. The idea of the playbook is we say we want to attract and retain the best talent, capital, and in companies. And so what? How does one go about doing that? The playbook is intended to give people a sense of that. We're going to have lots of resources, we know, within this group. We're already putting those together. A playbook helps just piece together a narrative and give somebody literally a playbook, just the way the team a team would go out
Yeah.
and execute some
That's
play.
great. And I think one thing that came up one of the meetings for the folks who knew that I made so much sense was that one use case was someone's an AI enthusiast at their company, individual contributor, and wanted to make the case internally for their company to move their AI center of excellence to Boston or state of Massachusetts. And this would be a way to get 3 or 4 slides, I think, right, Adam, that I can then put into
Yep.
my own company slide, save me a bunch of time and improve the case versus other regions, perhaps.
A great example.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you. And what help do you need from people?
We want people to just join that working session. Just reach out to me. We'll get it set up the week of the 12th or the 19th. It'd be good to have some other minds.
That'd be fantastic. Great. Thanks. Nice work. Luke, you want to share what your directory effort is and how people can help?
Yeah, sure. Let me go and share my screen. Let me think. Oh, 1 sec. There we go. So this is a directory of all student-run groups as well as like research initiatives or research groups relating to AI, data science, machine learning, computer science. Not as much computer science, more specifically AI or data science, machine learning. For all universities, I'd say in Massachusetts, but it's mostly focused in the Boston area. I have UMass Amherst on there as well. I think I will expand this to include other schools like WPI, maybe like Wellesley College that aren't, directly close to Boston, but still in the Massachusetts area. The main purpose of this directory, I guess, isn't necessarily to provide this as a resource to students. It's more of a list to see like student-run AI groups in colleges in Massachusetts, so we can identify colleges that don't have AI clubs and help them build clubs relating to AI just to foster more AI communities, I guess. Like I mentioned before, I was the founder and president of the UMass Data Science Club, and I had a really fun time doing that. It really opened up a lot of doors for me. I think it's a great way of getting students interested in AI. So I guess my ask would be, if anybody works at a college or has connections at a college, more so smaller colleges like Harvard and MIT, they already have AI clubs, but colleges like Bentley and Brandeis, they don't have AI clubs. Although I do have one connection at each of these universities, so I am
Hey,
hoping.
Paul, I have a quick thought on this, if you can call me when he's done.
Sure.
I did meet with somebody from Bentley and another person from Brandeis, and I'm hoping that this coming semester I'll be able to help them set up AI clubs at those universities. But for anybody else at colleges like Emerson or Suffolk, I think they have a computer science club, but they don't have an AI club specifically, or any other colleges, and you want to help get some students organized to set up some sort of AI focused student run group, feel free to let me know.
It's fantastic. And Luke, I think there's such an important initiative. We talk repeatedly about how these 100+ colleges and universities in our town is such a unique aspect of the region, how every single year new talent comes here, and yet we don't have an email list to be able to blast out great career fairs and opportunities and everything else. So it's really, really foundational work here, Luke. You're working hard, and I know everyone needs your help on. Go ahead, John Warner. You have a couple of.
Yeah. So I know private equity and pre-med have a whole like tracking system at universities to kind of identify talent. And that we may want to take a page out of what those industries are doing instead of just reinventing the wheel. And Joseph Webley, who spoke on July 23rd at the AI Action Dialogue, he was showing how he was tracking AI clubs. So it might be good to get in front of him. And I do think if we put a kit together on how to start an AI club, I know the president of Bentley, and we could, I know the president of Emerson, you could go to those two schools, but I think creating the definitive kit that students could start these clubs, then you distribute it and you create almost like FOMO, and maybe it's the AI blueprint that's facilitating it. I would invest in best practices and tools and stuff. But I do think this could become one of the pillars of the group. And I think the young Democrats and young Republicans, have a similar playbook. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, and Luke and John, I think, I don't know if Walking Wagon's still around, but if you show up as a student in one of our 150 colleges, you get you know, the 90-second commercial, you get the playbook, you get the list of organizations of contact, and you should at least not be able, you at least should not leave this region without knowing everything there is to offer around that. Really exciting. Linksek, are you here? You want to talk about the international talent?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, thank you all for giving the feedback since, you know, we last announced this program.
I think it's really hard to hear. Is your thing up or
Okay, how about now? Is it better?
not much better, but go ahead. We'll listen intensely.
Of course. First of all, thank you all for, you know, giving the feedback since we last announced the program. So we have some tweak on the scope of the program, because last time when we said we're trying to do the lobby, but this time, you know, after listening to all the feedback from the state governments and, you know, lawyers and the recruiters, we decided to start from the local. With that being said, we're going to focus on building the community and hopefully get some, you know, minimal viable products by organizing events and programs to raise awareness from the international community. And second, at the state level, I mean, there's already been state legislative efforts, which is, I think, the end of July, which has been passed due. So we have Chief AI Policy here in the Massachusetts state and the Chief Economic Office from the Massachusetts states who have been taking a look at the document. The finding information very helpful, which, by the way, Erica, I noticed you just posted some information in the chat as well. It would be really great if we can just combine these two different, you know, data together to showcase demographics and the overview statistics.
Pull the other.
Out there.
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
I'd be happy to. Let's connect offline.
Awesome. I heard someone else is speaking. Is that you, Joe? Or
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry.
oh, it's okay. Okay. So basically, the specific products we're going to basically do is entrepreneur in the residence program. So in this case, we're trying to use this program hopefully to, you know, get more international students to stay. And this is, I know somebody also talked about Northeastern University, which, by the way, I'm also collaborating with them on the co-op. And many of these engineers are actually coming from international backgrounds. So the way that we're going to retain them is we cannot change the policy at the federal level for now, but we can use the specific programs to hopefully give them more visa. So this is a general, like the scope or updated scope about this mini project. And hopefully we're gonna keep running the events and building the community until we hear more feedback. And by the way, thankfully for the Mass government, we're going to, you know, speak also with a Mass ventures people next week. And hopefully because they also got, you know, like the Global Entrepreneur in Residence program. So we'll see if there's any sort of the synergy.
And the goal is to make sure that Massachusetts is as friendly as possible to international students and doing whatever we can to make it attractive and easier for them to stay in the region. Is that correct?
Yes, so we're
Okay.
trying to retain as many as possible by not changing the federal policy, but we're going to use a program and the visa scheme to retain more as possible.
That's fantastic. And then the other ask, other than John Warner's help, what other things can people do to help?
Yeah, so Oscar Joan, this is actually the next project. So if Rodolph, if you can just scroll back to the previous slide, that one is actually for the international talent. Yeah. So
Okay.
first of all, you know, kudos to our Beverly and Paulo and Aruna, you know, who are giving the feedback as well. So we need more community efforts. And if you're coming from immigrants and also
I think we're losing some of your internet.
especially and employment, would be much appreciated conversation, see how we, you know, address this. Okay, so
Hey, Paul,
basically
I have a
community
1
efforts.
second thought on
We
this.
need people from the legal.
Yeah, so sorry, Lennox, go ahead, John, and then I'm gonna move to the next one. Go ahead,
Yeah,
John.
my one thought is everyone's about how do we get people to live here? How do we get international students to be in Massachusetts? The governor, I think, is really thinking about the cost of living. I actually think we need the right projects here and the right people, but we also need to have the world is flat and connect to people in other communities, other countries to collaborate with us. That's how Google does it. And that it's not just about getting everyone here, but it's getting the right people around the world to work with us and want to work with us. So there's another dimension to this.
I think it's great. Yeah, and maybe that's also part of the mission is to be the world's best collaborators. not just keeping talent locally. Well, I want to keep moving. Lennox, any other thing you want to add to share with the group? Okay, let's I think next is Judah. Are you on by chance? I think he had a Judah's focused on the career fair. This is citywide at Heinz Convention Center. The contract is signed. I think he's just coordinating with Northeastern to make sure there's not overstepping there. He's a Northeastern grad, so hopefully if people know action items there, let me know. We can make sure Judah has it. A lot of interest in different education, K through 12, elementary, within the system, next to the system. Javed or others, are you on the line?
Yeah, just a quick update, Paul. This is Javed. Yeah, so I'm looking for ways to scale access to generative AI APIs for middle school and high school students. So one aspect is essentially a train the trainer program, where I'm hoping to be able to get in front of a computer science teachers so they can take these notebooks and these materials and bring them to students. And the others I've spoken to for Kara and others at the Museum of Science to see, and Christine, so to see if we can do a program through there, right? But any other ideas on how to scale this would be super welcome. Second is one of the other aspects of AI in Massachusetts we haven't really touched upon is access to data. As everyone knows, a lot of this data that's being used for AI models is locked away. We don't really know what those are. So I'm interested in forming a consortium so that students can access data sets beyond what's available on Kaggle and so on. Really truly public data sets that people can access, because you can't build models without access to data.
That's fantastic. Good. And Javed, what to ask? How can people help?
Yeah, so any opportunities to scale access to APIs so that we're not just users and we're actually programming these generative AI tools. Any ways to scale that, I'm happy to connect with folks on this call. Second is if folks want to join in on contributing data to a generalized pool which students can use to build models on, that's also that I'd love to hear from folks as well.
Fantastic. Thank you, Javed. Very exciting. Lots of opportunities there. One of the interesting things in my earlier comment about why do you stay here? Leave the state, leave. And so many of the people say one of the reasons I stay in Massachusetts and love working here is because of the quality of the schools. I really care about my schools and that where my son and daughter are going, and I'm looking for schools that actually also emphasize AI. So there's actually two-part benefits as a job at some of the stuff you're doing, both for the students themselves, but also for retention of their parents. A Museum of Science, Christine, Kara, is there any updates here or thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll happy to have Kara and Debbie chime in, but I'll give you a brief update. The initial concept in terms of Museum of Science events is to really help connect what we're doing here at AI Blueprint and in partnership with the Museum of Science. And we thought a good starting point might be with the K through 12 activities that Javed is working on. And he and I met and developed some initial concepts to propose to Tim Ritchie and the leadership team at the museum. And the goal with this particular initial concept would be to engage the middle to high school population, help educate them, and envision how AI will play in their life and their work, right? Because they'll be in the thick of it within the next 5 to 10 years, right? And this is attractive not just from what Javed and his team are doing and this whole group is doing, but it's also an attractive and intentional focus population for the Museum of Science. And hopefully we'll get them more and more interested, because that's where a lot of drop off happens in terms of their membership once children get to be 12 or 13 years old. So Kara, I know, met with Tim and the leadership team, and there was very positive reception to that. I think we need to work a little bit more on, exactly what these programs might look like and how we might collaborate. So they're open to more conversation, but nothing has been set in stone yet. Kara, I don't know if you want to add a little bit more color to your conversation that you had?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Christine. Yeah, so this obviously, folks may wonder why I'm talking about the Museum of Science and talking about my startup. It's because I do both. So I'm part of the leadership team at the Museum of Science. I'm in the marketing side. So we do a lot of work convening around different technologies, and certainly AI is a big part of what we do. We have a big exhibit on AI. We had our friends from MIT, not Solve, it's the other one, the curricula group, Raise. There you go, MIT Raise. We had a day of AI. So anyway, it's something that we like to do. I don't directly have decision-making capacity over programming. That's the education group. But I, like Christine said, I met with Tim to tell him about AI Blueprint. He had not heard of it, to make sure it's on his radar, and to talk about, like Christine was saying, potential ways that we could work together. Just to be frank, nonprofit entities get nervous about saying yes to things that don't come with any funding. So we would have to think about, what we're asking and how we pay for it and all that good stuff. But I think there's a lot of potential. We obviously work very closely with the state and the city. So a lot of cool opportunities there. Yeah, so I think it could be really great. And we do these thematic years. The 24 is climate, and then 25 is what we're calling internally the year of being human. So we're going to be looking at all different aspects of what it means to be a human starting in January. So AI is an interesting piece of that, because what does it mean to be an artificial human, right? So we'll see, more information to come, but it does feel like a natural place.
So Karen, Christine, what's the ask? Do you have an ask for the group?
I think the ask will come once we have more firmed up.
Okay.
So once we get a thumbs up from the museum, then we'll have to create programming.
Fantastic.
Exactly.
Well, very exciting. It's such a.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just saying. I just learned a couple months ago that it sits in both Boston and Cambridge. So
It
the whole
does.
kind of connecting both cities and people and parents and towns. It's really wonderful asset.
And an ask I would say is come visit us. Like, if you want to come, I will walk you around. We have, like I was saying, we have an AI exhibit. If you haven't been there in years, it's not the place you remember. So come talk to us, because in a couple of years, we're going to be opening one of the best convening spaces in Boston. So paid for by our friend, Mike Bloomberg. So please come see us and see what's going on, because the potential for the museum to be a convening space is pretty incredible, right?
Yeah, I had a tour 2 or 3 months ago for the first
Good.
time in like 15 years. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I can remember the dinosaur and taking my kids and stuff, but it's really unbelievable.
Yeah, that's
and
why
they have like a whole series of subspace adult programming as well, which is really, really great. Everybody here should check it out, because they have fantastic evening programs.
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff on AI. And I have to tell you, that's why I left my CMO job at Harvard, believe it or not, to go to the museum, because of the things they're doing there. So
that's fantastic.
Good
so
stuff.
let's keep driving. We've got 10 minutes. We try
really
to
quickly, what this might be able to do too is that Tim has a vision of not just being a connector, between Boston and Cambridge, but a global connector. So back to the point we just had a minute ago, where John chimed in about global connectivity and community, the museum could potentially also play a part in that as well.
That's such a great point. Yeah, a global convener and a regional strength is really something we should think about, maybe adding to the mission or something, because I really think it's important.
Yeah, actually, that's true. I mean, we could evolve to that. We're going to start with this, start small, right? And then evolve to bigger things.
Fantastic.
And we do, I mean, I don't want to take too much time here, but we do a lot of AI content already. And so adding a flavor is pretty easy. And, our reach is in the hundreds of millions right now with our content. We have
Right. So Carol,
partnerships.
you involved in the next one, you and David and Adam working on this.
I'm
Wanna give a
everywhere.
quick
I'm
update?
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if David would want to take the lead on this, but generally we have a LinkedIn group and we want you to join. But David, Adam, anything you want to say?
No, I don't think David can make it, but it's an extension of the group. It's the ethos of the group, but a chance. LinkedIn is a fantastic place for us to continue to amplify further and get some virality.
So two potential online places that communicate. One would be the Slack channel. Second would be the LinkedIn group that's starting to form. Is that correct, Adam?
Correct.
Okay, fabulous. Let's keep rolling. Media training. Amanda, any updates on this or things you want to share?
Just going well. I just want to say thanks for folks for trying, who've been submitting stories on Slack and video. Keep dumping them into that channel. They're being used in multiple ways, and working with some other partners and starting to turn those stories into what will hopefully become a podcast. So we've started that recording and we'll share it out as soon as we've done. We've done 4 interviews so far, and be reaching out to everyone to once there's media to review.
But Amanda, the interviews are fantastic, aren't they?
Yes, they're really good. They've been doing great. And so again, if anyone, and also I don't want, like, this doesn't have to be my thing. I'm just a tactical, practical thinker. So I started talking to people, I put them into stories. I share them every week on Fridays when we don't meet, to illustrate how often we don't meet. That's the purpose. So anyone can go in and see those stories. You could share your own stories. You can tag others. Like, it doesn't have to be my thing, but it is having good traction.
Yeah. Well, so Amanda's doing a fabulous job of posting on LinkedIn once a week. So Amanda, what's your ask here? What's the biggest thing people can do to help you?
So a couple things. One, if you want to, there's a media training doc that's linked that everyone should have access to. I put in here, if you take a look at it, there's stories that are embedded there that kind of give a structure just to get you help thinking. On the Slack channel, there's in the AI Blueprint channel, there's a channel that's Why I Stayed in Massachusetts. You can drop your own story there, or you can see other stories and videos that people have shared. And what's really great is if you share someone else's story. Hey, I'm a member of this group. This is what we do. Meet someone else who's there. And you can literally copy and paste and share their story and give someone else some plug.
That's fantastic. Well, it's really exciting. We've got just a few minutes. The event listing has really been one of the first projects. Luke or Dan, are you guys on? I want to give them a quick update, or David?
Can you hear me, Paul?
Briefly, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm driving, so I don't have much of an update. I've been busy organizing AI camp. So, we call it the by dev for dev meetup for Boston. So definitely check that out, AI camp. But I think there's definitely room to improve the calendar. The search, it's still hard to find via Google. So we can improve the search engine optimization and maybe integrate it with Google Calendar. There's definitely things we could do.
Yeah.
So, reach out. I hope to get more involved with that. Otherwise, no major updates on my end.
That's great. And just for everyone else on the call, the impetus behind this was that there wasn't a centralized place to find a list of in-person AI events. So Dan and Luke and David have done this. We have a really good Airtable they built. It's easy to add events. We're now getting 2 to 5 events. So we have the basic infrastructure of event listing, either in Calendar form or kind of spreadsheet form, and lots of good ideas. We continue to see in-person events being a really powerful catalyst of relationships, and the unbelievably fantastic one that John Warner and Sarah and others had last Tuesday at 400 people in person.
I have another.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, I think my cell signal is breaking up, but I had another unrelated thought just now, which is there's a lot of stuff going on at Harvard and MIT that I think we're not yet plugged into. I've heard there's meetups almost every day. There's also hacker houses. So I'm going to try to tie some people from Harvard community into what we're doing here. Just FYI, because there's a lot going on. I recently heard there's like 10 hacker houses being created right now.
That's a great idea.
Which is really exciting, because I feel like that's part of the secret sauce of the Bay Area is the hacker houses. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks.
Great suggestion. Go ahead, Beth. Thanks for raising your hand.
Yeah, there's one very active one called Sunday Club. They have a website. It's Sunday, UNDAI Club, cute. They only do AI hacks. They're out of MIT and Harvard. We work with them at C10. They're awesome. And I think they're interested in getting involved with more of the, broader Massachusetts community efforts, whether it's through this group or through IIA or through this, other events that are happening locally. The guy who runs it is Serge, and I can get you connected to him. He's quite
It's the best way here. And
Oh,
thank
Sarah, there you are, Artem.
for amazing. Yeah.
I'm advertising you. Go ahead.
Thank you. It was amazing. Yeah. We are Sunday, like, the day of the week with AI in the end. Yeah, it's pretty much it. We are not really a hacker house. We are a club where we meet every Sunday together, try to bring the best hackers, not only from MIT or Harvard, but really from across the Boston larger area. And every week we try to hack something new, which is AI first and potentially like can go viral or like be useful for bigger communities of people. Yeah, and so we are growing and hopefully we'll find ways to scale. That's really the
That's
main.
fantastic. If you don't mind putting the URL in the Slack when you get a chance, or in the Zoom chat. But teach the group, what's the biggest thing that you see in your friends and community that the region can do to help?
Yeah, I guess like there's a lot of efforts right now, and I think this initiative is amazing because it looks like there's many different things happening, and it's not well coordinated. So like we started Sunday Club, there are like 10 other hacker club houses, which is great. And I think it's part of the infrastructure is that there should be lots of centers of attraction across the city. And the main thing that we see is that there is really demand from students, from people to build stuff. And that's what I think the main takeaway from our experience is that people sacrifice their Sunday to come at 10 a.m. and usually it goes on till 2 or 3 a.m. and people actually come and are super committed to build AI stuff because first of all, it's interesting, it's very relevant right now, and it's till 3 a.m. Yeah, so it's like the entire day. I see that you taking notes. And we see that there is a big demand for people to stay on top of the field because it feels that like everything changes so fast, and people, especially who have background in computer science, they want to have like hands-on experience. I think that's what we are creating. For now, I guess like we're really looking for ways to scale and potentially build an educational platform around this while keeping the core of like people who actually build AI solution.
Fantastic. So I think I got this is the right website that I
Yes.
listed here? Okay.
Mhm.
Fantastic. Well, we've got 2 minutes. Any folks online on the chatbot initiatives want to share any updates?